With just a few days left, and I can't believe we're at this point in time of the presidential election cycle, Donald Trump has dropped a brand new, we will not, I repeat, we will not have a woke military, okay? General Milley, he's a disgrace. I will fire him. Day one, he will be God. We will not allow a DEI military. We can't have it here, folks. That's pretty good. It's a banger ad, and it's got a lot of imagery that you would expect it to, and a lot of inflammatory phrases that, comrade Kamala Harris, pandering to the boomers, commie fear-mongering and all that stuff. And then it breaks out into a Full Metal Jacket clip, and well, that really ruffled the feathers. Quite a few people out there. A ton of lefty media literacy types out there saying, how dare you besmirch the great Stanley Kubrick's vision. He is a cinematic master and he would never be on your side. How dare you co-opt the imagery of Hollywood, who is 90%. Actually, let me rephrase that. 99% on the side of the establishment. Haven't you seen all of the celebrity endorsements we have? We had Bryan Cranston's insufferable ass up on stage not that long ago saying, please, for the love of God, please, somebody, please vote for Kamala Harris. Why won't you guys vote for Kamala Harris? Come on. We have all of the stars of yesteryear. Why is nobody... Taylor Swift said that she was going to vote like a month ago. Why have you guys forgot about that? But you take a look at the betting markets. You take a look at, well, hell, just the interview circuit right now, and Kamala is failing harder than even the most optimistic Trump supporters thought that she would. Staggering failure with Charlemagne the God on the Breakfast Club, and compare and contrast that with Trump finally doing the podcast rounds. So I guess better late than never. But I think it'll be interesting to see, because I thought I seen something about Kamala going on Joe Rogan and then Trump being on Joe Rogan. If we ever have that compare and contrast, that'll be an interesting one to break down, because as it sits right now, it's like I'm pretty sure, unless they do something completely and totally out of pocket, this election's going to be in the bag. For as many times as you've seen the clips go around, oh, they're trying to normalize fraud, and oh, you need to stay diligent. Yeah, that's kind of what I've been saying for a while. Keep your head down. You already know who you're voting for. Been down with Trump since 2015. There's nothing that's going to change my mind that is going to come out in the next couple of weeks, and even still, nothing could come out that would make me stump for Kamala at this point in time. She was always going to be the sheep led to this 2024 slaughter. I'm just interested to see how big the gap is at this point in time, because there are some people that are out there that just kind of think a Trump victory is an inevitability. I'm not saying get complacent, but the general tone and tenor of the population, I don't know, maybe it's because there's a real lack of debates, at least at time of recording, a real lack of scandals. It's just kind of it's a march toward the polls at this point in time. T-minus 3 weeks to victory, and then we won't have to hear any more cackles, and we can back to figuring out where in the blue hell Joe Biden is hiding, and how we're going to make it to inauguration without another shot being taken at T-money. Because you know goddamn well right. So, okay, like the election day, it could very well end up being that instigation point that everybody thought this wild election season, myself included. Like, I thought that there would be a lot more to this stuff, and even the politics heads, like, I've been trying to figure out is like, am I missing something? Am I on the outside looking in when it comes to this season? But outside of just breaking down interviews, there's no real enthusiasm here, because there's no more piercing the veil. People are finally starting to stand up for what they believe in, and you're not being censored. And I put a big part of that up to, Elon Musk finally putting his money where his mouth is, and making a pseudo free speech social media platform. About 90% of the time he gets it right, or at least the company does. And haven't heard a lot from Linda Yaccarino recently with her dalliances and playing footsie with the opposition in order to get more favorable deals. But perhaps that might change with a Trump victory and Elon working in the federal government, and she has control over the platform. But that'll be, of course, all in due time. We've got to focus on the now and the spurging that is happening, because Hollywood's echo chamber isn't the only thing that is crumbling. Its influence from years gone by, it's just not there anymore, because for all of the people freaking out that, oh, Trump's using movie clips. Oh, what do you think? We're just that stupid. We remember that you're a reality TV show. Then you got Stanley Kubrick's daughter, who has just come out to be one of the most fervent MAGA supporters, which is absolutely crazy, right? But Stanley Kubrick's daughter declares her father would support Donald Trump and forgive him for using scenes from Full Metal Jacket to oppose America's military going woke. And yeah, we actually got the post, and I got it right here, because it's is a big one. And oh boy, you take a look at her profile and, well, hell, let's just take a look at, the banner that she has up there. I'm kind of thinking that she's in the tank for a certain political party, but to those who think my father wouldn't have wanted Trump to use Full Metal Jacket footage, here are my thoughts. I agree in principle that an anti-war movie is incongruous with the promoting of the idea of a tough and non-woke military and thus war itself. However, these are very dangerous and strange times, and thus using the footage is doubtless pure expedience. Now, because I'm sure the irony of using Full Metal Jacket footage is not lost on Trump or his team, Trump is always seeking to end wars and use peaceful methods. However, that's primarily what Full Metal Jacket is about, the shocking and complicated paradoxes of human nature. And plus, the scene that he uses is arguably the most synonymous scene from Hollywood linked up with the military, especially when it comes to politically incorrect speeches delivered by R. Lee Ermey. Of course, that one take is tremendous. And thus, on the tooth and claw planet, you need a very strong military. So I'm going to stick with the idea that Full Metal Jacket footage was used primarily because of its powerful, realistic portrayal of boot camp, juxtaposed with the entirely demoralizing and inappropriate injection of woke ideology into the U.S. military, which I agree with myself, and which, I'm certain my father would have agreed with. Truthfully, I believe my father, who supported Reagan, would very much approve of saving America, indeed the world, from the highly destructive globalist forces threatening to take over the planet. And if that footage from Full Metal Jacket helps Trump make that point, that the U.S. military needs to be properly trained, super tough, focused, dedicated warriors, and to not introduce the demoralizing effects of wokeism and attracting people to join up simply to have their sexual reassignments paid for, weird, then Trump has my blessing. Finally, knowing my father very well, I can assure you that it had a profound grasp of how paradoxical human nature is, which accounts for how at the same time he made anti-war films, he had such a great passion for guns, self-defense, not hunting, and had quite a few. My father had a great respect for life, his movies being unimpeachable evidence of his love for life, liberty, and the pursuit of happiness. So on that basis, I feel very confident that he would be a Trump supporter and would forgive using Full Metal Jacket incongruously, if it helps the cause for freedom. Capiche? Capiche, Vivian. What a good daughter. If I ever have a daughter, God forbid, she respects my legacy as much as Vivian does for her father. But just taking a look at Vivian's timeline, and she is based as hell. I had no idea, right? But she's dunking on Kamala, citing real Candace Owens, breakdown of Kamala's very controversial lineage. I suppose we can go with that one, but it's been interesting. And like I said, I've been paying attention to this stuff from afar, and I'm just seeing, blatant hypocrisy from Kamala, which is at least congruous with her political career. But more and more, not just on, Twitter. Take a look at the broader social media, and then even just on the street ecosystem, because you guys know, I'm from northern Alberta. I'm up here, Grand Prairie of all places. And we, of course, Canada has quite a bit of bleed over and follows U.S. politics about as closely, and in some cases even more closely, than our own at-home catastrophe. And over the past few elections, right, when everything really started to kick into gear, every once in a while, and I was in college. Was I in college? No, I was just out of college at the time of 2015. Every once in a while, you'd see some I'm with her stuff. And really, even in the community college that I went to up here, there was that general idea that being white was inherent with some privilege, and being a male also multiplied said benefits. And it was starting to really creep in around there. And of course, in the lead up to 2016, every once in a while you'd see some Hillary Clinton stuff, and then you'd see some rebellious Make America Great Again stickers. And then definitely in 2020, I've seen a bigger influx of that, which was kind of strange, to be completely honest. But this time around, for the past couple of months, I kid you not, there are Trump flags that have been flying since late summer, campaign stickers popping up on mailboxes left, right, and center. It's crazy how much the rest of the world wants the United States to make the right decision, how much the wider world sees through this crap. They are not taken in by the mainstream media apparatus, which is pumping out propaganda to both sides of the aisles. I kid you not, and you guys know just as well as I do. something that I've been talking about for a long time on this channel, which is why I don't think we're going to be in for any early November disappointment. I think they'll try to get away with some stuff, but at the same time, there is a victory on the horizon that is so overwhelming that even their attempts to fortify, I think that they'll ultimately end up falling flat on their faces, because there's only so much crap that you can really get away with before it becomes an untenable position to maintain. I think the Democrats have their internal polling, and that's why we ended up with Kamala Harris and the weirdest vice presidential pick in Tim Walz that we've ever seen. But until the next time Kamala Harris does something stupid or somebody tries to take out the Republican ticket, I will leave you with that. Shout out to the Kubricks, legitimate Hollywood royalty, and Copenseed, the rest of you scoundrels. So with all that said, thank you all very much for the gift of your time. I've been Don Consuelo. I want you to follow your gut and get after it. Take care, everyone.